Well, Rico, what got North Central Michigan College interested in pursuing this dental hygiene program?
What actually began the process actually was our, at that time, newly hired Vice President of Academic Affairs moved to the area and found he couldn't get a dental hygiene appointment because there weren't enough providers. So he came back to the college and asked, what can we do about this? And so we began a feasibility study to get all the details about possibly initiating a program. And the college decided to push forward with it when they saw the immense need that Northern Michigan has for this, and not only how much it's going to benefit our local providers, but our community as a whole, and also give our local students an opportunity for an advanced education locally that has the potential for very good income.
And maybe you have the numbers available, or maybe it's just a rough estimate, but do you have an idea of how many dental hygienists were short kind of in the Northern Michigan region?
I'm not sure specifically in Northern Michigan, but statewide, right now there are currently 13 programs in the state of Michigan for dental hygiene, and that's it. If those programs were to fully graduate everyone they enrolled in the program or accepted in the program, they would graduate annually approximately 350 hygienists. The studies that have been done for a 10-year projection that ran from 2022 to 2032 are that Michigan needs 545 hygienists annually. So there is a huge shortfall, and Northern Michigan feels this more than most because there are no dental hygiene programs north of Saginaw. Ferris in Big Rapids and Delta College in the Midland Saginaw area are the closest dental hygiene programs.
And those being further downstate, does that kind of play into when people go downstate for college for a dental hygiene program? Does that kind of lead them to maybe not come back to Northern Michigan to be a dental hygienist up north?
Absolutely, that is a factor, and we do see that in two ways. We see where we have our local students that go downstate, and especially for a 2-year program, that's 2 years that they've now reestablished their life in those areas. And oftentimes they have met local dentists through their programs that have offered them positions, and they just choose to stay. The other part of that is we have a lot of local students that have the potential to be excellent hygienists and don't have the ability to go downstate. They're already established in Northern Michigan with families and really can't be commuting 2.5 hours one way. And can't relocate to take a 2-year program. So we're missing out on some of the local potential in that way as well.
The location for the actual clinic and instructional site is in Bay Shore, a little bit of a unique location. How did the college come across that spot and make the decision to set up there?
Well, we had the opportunity presented to the college that there was a business that was going to be selling their business or selling their location. And we wanted to find something that would be visible for the college so that people and students and community know that we're around. And especially for a dental hygiene clinic, we want it to be accessible for all the communities in this Northern Michigan area. So when we found this property available, it just was kind of a perfect fit for what we needed and the correct size for what the clinic needs, and also allows for the possibility of expansion in the future, which is huge.
We've talked about the job stability aspect due to the workforce shortage, but what kind of earning potential are these eventual graduates looking at?
According to the posted state studies, it's averaging around $87,000 a year is a typical income of a hygienist working full-time. Full-time hygienist many times means 4 days a week, not 5. From what we've heard from the local providers and what I know myself from my background as a hygienist, this area especially is paying much more than that. And part of that is because there is such a need. It's supply and demand. So the earning potential for Northern Michigan is huge.
And is the program, is it going to have any incentives for graduates to stay local or connections with local dentists to kind of feed them into the local workforce?
Well, our local dentists have been very interested in our program, and we are in close communication with all the local providers and trying to keep them in the loop of what we're trying to do here. There will be opportunities where our students are required to have a certain amount of observation hours shadowing a hygienist in the local area, so they will have exposure to the offices. So I think there will be a strong link to, especially our local students, to have them remain in the area.
What will the application process look like for students interested in joining the program?
Well, we are currently in the process of accreditation with the Commission on Dental Accreditation, which is the governing body that covers the whole United States. They are the ones that make sure that each program is offering the correct information and education for the students to be successful hygienists. And until we have that initial accreditation, we aren't allowed to actually enroll any students in the program. Now, that being said, we have received our approval from the Higher Learning Commission to approve our hygiene program for the college. So we're doing this delicate dance of we can talk to the students about our potential program, and we can let them know what the pre-program requirements will look like, especially for those that want to get started early and prefer to do their courses on a part-time basis. And but with the caveat that we can't actually accept applications to that final core program until we have accreditation in hand.
Final question, a little bit of building off of that last one. You know, I think in this conversation, people are going to be listening, and whether it's themselves or maybe, you know, a child or grandchild, they're going to be hearing, especially in this economy, wow, you know, there's job openings all over the state, especially here in Northern Michigan. It's pretty solid income. That'd be pretty exciting. So what is the expected, if everything kind of goes smoothly, what is the timeline for when this program is going to start accepting students? And you already kind of mentioned in the answer to the last question that, you know, they can kind of start conversations. How can people reach out to kind of get those initial conversations underway?
Interested students can either go to our website, which is ncmich.edu, and there is a dental hygiene program page under the academics folder. There is a lot of information available there. They can also schedule an appointment with one of our advisors. At this time, we're recommending that they request an appointment with one of two of our advisors that has the most information on the hygiene program, and that would be Beth or Shayna. And I think between that or being linked to me via my email, I'm always available to answer questions that we can as well.
Rico,
as far as our timeline, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
We are hoping, CODA is a very long process. They tell us it can take 12 to 18 months to get a solid answer on accreditation, which we are already in that process, so we're within that window already. We anticipate, after renovating our clinic and equipping it and getting our CODA accreditation, that our first cohort would be ready to be enrolled in the fall of 28. That being said, we would start accepting applications. The deadline for the first cohort would be April 15th of 28. So in that time range, we hope to have our accreditation in place long before that so that we can actually start guiding our students even better.
Rico, thank you so much for your time and insight. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. We're excited about the program and happy to have the information out there.